only did Courtney Hadwin's audition for America's Got Talent stand out, it also went viral. It seems like just yesterday she was a shy kid from a small English town. Now she's famous all over the world. But even though everyone saw the star rising, not many people knew how hard things were behind the scenes. A lot of people liked them right away, but then they got bullies on the internet, lost money in business, and became famous. Courtney's road has not been easy. When a girl's voice was way too good for her age, it went viral. Now she has to deal with some of the biggest problems in the music business. Where is she now? You might be surprised by what they say. It's crazy how popular Courtney Hadwin became so fast. Her journey from a small English town to the world stage is truly amazing, even though it's not a standard poor person gets rich story. She got her big break on season 13 of America's Got Talent when her act shocked the judges and the crowd. She became famous because of this. She comes from the small English town of Heselden in the Northeast. Anne Marie, Lisa's mom, says that life is easy there because there is only a school, a shop, a pub, a park, and a boys' club. Over the years, Heselden has become less busy than it used to be. Hadwin had always wanted to be a singer even before she went on America's Got Talent. That dream began with Connie Talbot's performance on Britain's Got Talent when she was young, but it was a James Brown performance on YouTube that really set her on the right track. Other kids her age liked pop stars like Ariana Grande, Ed Sheeran, and Katy Perry, but Hadwin liked Janis Joplin, Otis Redding, and Aretha Franklin's songs more. She liked pop music too, but soul music was what she really felt. And she was naturally skilled, but she knew that it wasn't enough to make her singing better. It cost her a lot of money to learn how to do things well. She didn't wait for a chance to come along, she created one. Hadwin had to go out and start busking in England's busiest places in 2016 to pay for her singing lessons. In the end, her grandfather Tom Story told her that the money she made paid for both her lessons and her trip. Some people in stores and on the street didn't like her shows, though. When other street artists saw her, they thought she was a threat and often tried to get rid of her. People stop and listen even if they don't agree when that person speaks out. It all began for Courtney with local talent shows where she worked hard to get better at what she did. She wasn't doing it for fun. She wanted to become famous. In 2015, she did a great job singing David Guetta's Titanium at Teen Star. The next year, she made it to the finals of Open Mic UK and sang Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You in her own unique way. She worked hard. The Hartle Mail reported that Courtney's mother said her daughter did her schoolwork every night after school and then practiced all night. Then June 2016 came along. This is when people in her neighborhood really started to pay attention. Few people knew much about her when she first started at Shotton Hall Academy. Then her school put up a video of her on Facebook. Even though she was only 11, everyone knew she had a great voice all of a sudden. A Great Big World Say Something and her own song were performed at an open mic night. The whole room was shocked. A lot of people at school thought it was crazy. She said that afterward, people would stop her in the hallway and tell her how great she was at everything. She found it both strange and interesting. She participated in the Red Dreams One Voice competition the same year. Other musicians as young as 15 were also in the running. She didn't just tie when the scores were in, she won. But this wasn't just any event. She worked with a music organization before she was on TV, and Red Dreams was part of that. Other people there saw another side of her, too. A worker for the group said that Courtney was the quiet, shy girl that people saw in interviews. On stage, she was like a different person. Before, she was scared of the people and the attention. Her grandpa, Tom Story, showed that to be true. He always said that Courtney was quiet, shy, and didn't say much in real life. He said it was like something inside her lit up when she had a microphone in her hand. Speaking was not her strong suit, but singing made her feel much more sure of herself. It was how she truly showed who she was. Then there was the Voice Kids UK. During her open test, she sang and danced to Tina Turner's Nutbush City Limits. Will I? He liked her dancing so much that he asked her to do part of it again, just so he could see her dance some more. He picked her for his team and helped her do well in the game. In the fight round, she sang Dancing in the Street with Ebony Green and Holly Furman. When she sang I Got You, I Feel Good by James Brown, it made the semifinals very exciting. She sang And I Am Telling You I'm Not Going from Dream Girls at the finals on July 16, 2017. But that was the end of her trip. She had been chosen. You might believe that being on The Voice Kids UK is a fantasy come true, but Courtney was hurt because she was picked on. After the show was over, people started to hate her online. The singer's grandfather told the Daily Mail that people were yelling at her and calling her names because she wasn't singing. Things that are mean online are easier to ignore, but it was really hard for her to ignore the teasing she got at school. The Sun says she had a rough time at school. If some kids thought about how popular she would become, they got angry and started to pick on her. The girls she talked to said that the boys laughed at her and made fun of her voice. They were mean, but she wouldn't let what they said turn her into them. People who knew her were scared of what the bad mood might do to her. Her mother said it scared her to see her daughter deal with all the hate, but she also knew something important. She had to be strong for her daughter, too. Her father told her that being an artist meant being criticized all the time. He said that even Ed Sheeran had to delete his Twitter account because of all the mean comments. Courtney stayed focused, though, because she was determined to beat those who didn't believe in her and show them they were wrong. What's going on? A lot of people thought she would go to Britain's Got Talent from The Voice Kids UK, right? That's what should have been done. But Courtney had other plans. She had more plans. She once said that she chose America's Got Talent because she admired the acts from the U.S. the most. She believed that if she was going to risk something, it should be on the biggest stage possible. Courtney Hadwin, who was only 13, quit America's Got Talent during season 13. She looked scared when she saw the judges, the big crowd, and the bright lights. It was clear from how quiet and shy she was that the moment was important to her. It would be hard for everyone, but a young girl who was about to perform on one of the biggest stages in the world would find it especially hard. The judges then asked those awkward questions. You can tell they're not meant to be funny because the performer is just trying to get them over with. While getting ready, everyone watching likely thought, okay, this could go either way. Nerves can make people act badly. However, what came next was not real. If Courtney sang her upbeat version of Otis Redding's Hard to Handle, she seemed like a whole new person. That shy girl wasn't there anymore. She was replaced by a real rock star. The judges knew what was going on. As soon as they saw it, she was so good on stage that it looked like she had been doing it for years. What would Mandel be able to say? He had nothing to say. Heidi Klum looked shocked by what she saw. It looked like someone turned a switch on or off. The crowd went crazy. People were so excited that they cheered, clapped, and jumped out of their seats. Why not Courtney, too? She felt right at home. People might even say that her singing had a swagger that made me think of great singers like Steven Tyler or Janis Joplin. It was finally time, a crazy high note that shocked Howie Mandel. This is the kind of act that America's Got Talent was made for. A lot of people in the room were shocked, but Courtney's grandfather wasn't. He told the Daily Mail that they had always thought she would really connect with people in the U.S. more than in the U.K. What does Simon Cowell do? He saw a ghost, and all he could say was, bloody hell. When the song was over, Howie was thinking about something else. Simon said her singing voice was like a cat's. At the Monterey Pop Festival, Clive Davis met Janis Joplin. This was a big event in the history of music. That's when a singer who isn't well known at the time goes on stage and is famous by the time they leave. He only had to hit that golden button to get Courtney a record deal. He could have done it, but he couldn't. As soon as Courtney Hadwin's hand hit the ground, confetti flew everywhere, the crowd went crazy, and he became a part of AGT history. The talk was seen by 11 million people on TV, which is a lot of people, but it got even bigger online. In just 1 week, more than 130 million people watched her show. It's now more than 250 million. Every week, she brought the same crazy energy that helped her get further in the race. But as the season went on, things got a little crazy. Even stranger is the fact that the issue wasn't with Courtney's work. It was about how well the show took care of her. Some people online started to notice a pattern. She was the last act in all but one of the shows. People all over the country were talking about how famous she was in the short videos that played before her shows. They also said how crazy it was that she went from being shy to being a rock star on stage. AGT always does this. They make up a contestant's story to get people interested in them. But for Courtney, it made some people wonder if the show was trying too hard to make her story interesting. Does that mean she's not as good, though? Does that change the fact that her acts were seen by millions of people? Does that mean it's not true that people voted for her? Most likely not. It all came down to one thing: a 14-year-old girl killing it while singing the music she loved on one of the biggest stages in the world. After being away from America's Got Talent for a while, Courtney went back on August 14, 2018, ready to show why she was there. Papa's Got a Brand New Bag by James Brown really got people excited this time. No one was fooled. She was back by September 11 and flying through Steppenwolf's Born to Be Wild. On September 18th, when she got to the finals, she really put on a show with Tina Turner's River Deep, Mountain High. But even though she did great things, not everyone was touched by her story about being different. A lot of AGT fans looked into Courtney's past and found that she wasn't really new to the show. She made it to the finals of The Voice Kids UK in 2017. The web wouldn't let it happen. Some people thought that AGT tried to sell her as a shy new girl who was nervous about being on the big stage for the first time, even though she had competed at a high level before. It got crazy on Twitter. Someone found it funny that Courtney had said she had never performed in front of so many people, but now she was a finalist on another big show. Some people talked about her work on stage in the past, like when she played young Cosette in a production of Les Miserables. Some people believed that being a shy girl was all an act. Not only Courtney got hot, as if they were shocked by how good she was, the judges, especially Simon Cowell, were looking off to the side. But it's likely that they knew all along about her past. Web users talked about Courtney, but she made it to the finals on September 19. To sing Piece of My Heart, she was on the results show with the rock band The Struts. She gave it her all. Shin Lim got $1 million, but she came in 6th place on such a big show. That's still a big win. She believed that making it to the top 10 was already a big deal. There was something Courtney took with her from AGT, though. She left with a big group of fans, some of whom were famous. Many famous people like Sharon Stone, Paloma Faith, Luke Evans, and Stevie Van Zandt were rooting for her. She said that AGT was not at all like The Voice Kids UK, even though she had been on that show before. Everything about this event felt brand new, from the ads to the set to the number of people who showed up. Even after AGT was over, things didn't stop. Then, in December 2018, she told everyone that she had signed record deals with both Arista Records and Psycho Music, which is owned by Sean Paul. She was now on the same level as artists like Camila Cabello, Louis Tomlinson, and Hadwin Vanderwell. He told her he would always remember her tryout and gave her good grades. He also said that everyone was excited to see what she did next. David Massey, the CEO of Arista, called Courtney an exceptional talent who had way too much energy and a voice for her age. From what he said, it was clear that strange things always happened when she was around. Still, she wasn't done with AT yet. In January 2019, she went back to America's Got Talent to vie with the best acts from that show and other talent shows around the world. She was as excited as ever when she walked on stage. That's another reason why she was unique. She felt like Janis Joplin. For the show, she told us that she's always been shy around people, but when she sings, she's a whole different person. In fact, she proved it when the music started. She did a great job with her own song, Pretty Little Thing Again. Some people, like Simon Cowell, were still shocked that she didn't win AGT the first time. Before she sang, he told her, "When you didn't win, my jaw dropped." When she was done, he said it was her most confident performance yet and his favorite of hers. After the fight, Courtney was one of the most famous American Idol winners. She was named one of the top 50 acts in all 194 countries that have held an AGT show, which is pretty cool. Hadwin was only 14 years old when she performed on America's Got Talent, The Champions. but she wowed everyone. The Cover Sessions, her first EP, came out on October 25th, 2019. For example, she sang live versions of Harry Styles' Sign of the Times, Lil Nas X's Old Town Road, the Jonas Brothers' Sucker, and Louis Capaldi's Someone You Loved. Her ability was clear, and both fans and critics said her voice and personality made her sound older than her years. When asked which artists, like Little Richard, James Brown, Janis Joplin, and Mick Jagger, had inspired Hadwin's singing, she gave a long list. At first, Hadwin was supposed to play at Woodstock 50, an event held to celebrate the event's 50th anniversary. But the event had many issues, including disagreements over where to hold it, money issues, and things that would not go away after Woodstock 99. In the end, these issues were too big to handle, and the event had to be called off. Of course, COVID came along and put an end to live music for good. Things like tours, events, and songs were pushed back. But he didn't give up. She put out a cover of John Lennon's Happy Xmas, War Is Over, on November 20, 2020, to give her fans something to look forward to during the slow months. That happened in 2020. Hadwin was also meant to play at the FM4 Frequency Festival in 2021, but that also didn't happen. Around the same time, she broke up with the record company that was in charge of her songs after Simon Cowell's Psycho songs went out of business. This is what she told me. Hey, hey, she changed with her friends after someone said something bad about Simon on YouTube. She said, "This one is all me. I'm finally doing it my way and on my own." 2023 was a big year for Hadwin. She shared her own song, Breaking, which she wrote with producer Kevin Bowe on February 24. That Girl Don't Live Here, the next one came out on April 7th, a little more than a month after that. Then, on July 28th, she put out the sad song, Call Me Back. At the end of September, her fourth song of the year, Monsters, came out. It had both hard rock music and a mental health theme. The song was happy, even though it was about something sad, and it made it to number 19 on the Hard Rock Digital Song Sales list. There was more work for Hadwin to do. Christmas Rocks, her fifth song of the year, is a fast-paced Christmas song with rock elements that came out on November 24th, 2023. She wasn't slowing down. In April 2024, she sang for Clive Davis at a New York Pops event. She was singing live at Metropolis Studios by October 29th, 2024. But what's the real news? Her first full-length album will be out later this year, and early signs show that it will be a great one. One of the songs is called Spellbound, and it sounds like pop punk. It was co-written and produced in Minneapolis by four-time Grammy winner Kevin Bowe. Everyone is watching Hadwin as she makes her way clear step by step